Welcome, and welcome, everybody. You're here with the NextManUp Sportscast crew. Of course, you got Chooch and my brother Mandy. We're going to get into it today. Mandy, the first thing I want to talk about is, we're nearing the end here of basketball postseason, and the Lakers are up 3-1 on the Miami Heat. Being a lifelong Laker fan, being an Angelino, what would a Lakers championship, mean to not only to LeBron's legacy, but, to the city of Los Angeles and this year specifically?
Well, to answer the first question, man, in terms of what this legacy means, what it means for us, as Angelino, it's expected. Let's face it, it's expected, right? It's not going to, we want to win, right? It's expected, right? Yeah, we haven't had one for quite a while since, Kobe's,
right,
back-to-back. But it's going to mean a whole lot because the whole Kobe's death and stuff like that. And
right.
It's going to bring some unity to LA and all the Laker fans. But the biggest thing it's going to do, it's going to cement LeBron's legacy as one of the greatest NBA players of all time. He resurrected the LA Laker franchise. He brought them back to the promised land. And again, yes, he has Anthony Davis. Kobe had Shaq. Kobe had Pau Gasol.
Right.
LeBron has Anthony Davis. But after Anthony Davis, who do the Lakers really have?
KCP.
Yeah, right? So this is going to be huge for LeBron's legacy. Huge. And again, let's not get it twisted here. I'm not on the bandwagon of LeBron. I was a definite LeBron hater. Absolutely. But purple and gold changed people. And what he's doing right now with the Laker franchise to the promised land, one win away from an NBA championship, cementing LeBron's legacy as one of the greatest of all times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you kind of overlooked something, but yeah, I think this year means a lot. It means more just because, Kobe's tragic passing this year obviously hit a lot of Angelinos in the heart. Kobe was really our guy. He did it for LA. And even though he wasn't from LA, he's an adopted son of Los Angeles. We love Kobe like a son. All that stuff. Everybody that I know looked up to Kobe Bryant. Everybody had a Kobe Bryant jersey. So when he passed away, it hurt a lot. And for the Lakers to get back to the promised land after just last year being just awful, and LeBron really leading the charge there, I think it's going to do a lot for the city of LA. And then, with the Dodgers in the playoffs too, might be a good year for LA. So, but yeah, I think it's huge.
Imagine that. Lakers, Dodgers, playoffs at the same time. Yeah. World Series, NBA championship. City of champions, baby. City of champions. Oh, my God.
We can only hope, right? We can only hope. The Dodgers got a lot of work to do. Lakers are about there. So, we'll see what it ends up. But the next topic I wanted to talk to you about, there's some couple NFL teams kind of on the fringe of like, are they good? Are they bad? You know what I mean? And it's kind of tough to say. It's early in the year, but at this part in the year, you're kind of making your assumptions on who's going to be a good team, who's going to be a playoff team, and who's not. So I'm going to give you a couple teams. You tell me if you're buying into them as a playoff contender or if you're selling them as they're all hype. You know what I mean? So are these guys legit? Or are they not buying or selling? Philadelphia Eagles, they're in first place in the garbage NFC East. Are you buying or selling the Eagles as a playoff team in that division? You
just took the words right out of my mouth. And the reason why I'm going to buy them is because, okay. Say it again. What did you say about the NFC East?
It's a terrible division. They're in first place right now with a record of 1-2-1. So,
and that's why you have to buy them as a playoff contender because they could finish 7-9, God forbid, 6-10, and still be in the playoff hunt in the NFC East. That just shows you how bad the NFC is. NFC East is. But that being said, they get a playoff berth, the winner of the NFC East. So that's why you will have to buy the Eagles as a playoff contender.
Yeah, I would agree. Honestly, I think the tie actually helps them a lot in that division. It might be the deciding factor at the end of the day. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are you buying or selling the Tampa Bay Brady-led Buccaneers at a record of 3-1 at the moment?
I mean, you have to buy them. They're led by the GOAT. They're led by the GOAT. And yes, right now they're not playing so well, and it's going to hurt them because they have injuries, especially on the offensive side. They have a bunch of injuries.
Yeah.
But, give it about 3-4 weeks when they get healthy, they're actually a pretty deep team at running back and at receiver. Right? They have, Leonard Fournette, and they have their trio of running backs who've been hurt off and on.
Yeah.
Wait till they get healthy. And their receivers, right now, I think they have Evans, who's fine, I think kind of healthy. They got the kid, the young guy Miller, but then they lost
Godwin and Watson. Yeah.
Yeah, but look, they got
and
the Bears
Howard. And
they got the Bears this week. The Bears are offensively challenged, right?
True.
But again, Tampa Bay, what people don't realize, I have them on 2 of my fantasy teams for defense. Their defense is not bad.
It's above average for sure.
Yeah, it's above average. So I'm gonna buy them in the NFC South, where they got to compete against the Saints, who are struggling a little bit.
Yeah, hit and miss.
Right? Help me out. Who else in the NFC South? It's the Buccaneers.
You got the Panthers.
Whoa, but the Panthers are not bad.
Yeah.
Falcons are. All those teams we just talked about have no identity. True. I think of those teams, the Panthers, with that coach from Baylor, I think his name is Matt Rule, Art Rule, whatever his name is.
Matt Rule. Yep.
The Panthers, they have something brewing offensively, right? But I still think the Buccaneers, you have to buy them as contenders.
Yeah, I would agree with that to an extent, and I think the athleticism on defense is going to help that team a lot. Yes. Next, my very own Las Vegas Raiders. Are you buying or selling them as an? Remember, there's 3 wildcard teams that get into the playoffs this year. Are you buying or selling them in the AFC?
Look, I don't know, man. This is the hard. Of all the teams that we talked about, that we discussed a little bit, this would be the hardest one because, look, they're not going to win the division.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
They're not. Okay, so take it away. But then you have the wild card spots. On paper, you would have to say yes. They have the offensive weapons. There's just cars. Like 6th year, man, need to step up.
Yeah.
They got a good tight end. They got Josh Jacobs, a workhorse. Yeah. Right. They got Hunter Renfrow, little position receiver. Man. In the AFC, I'm going to say as contenders, I'll buy them as contenders.
Okay.
And that's it. Just a wild card, get beat in the first round, call it a day. But the contender, you know what? Yes, you're going to have to buy the Raiders as a contender, but nothing else. Nothing else.
Yeah, I agree. I think their schedule has been tough, and the way that they've weathered it so far with wins against the Panthers and the Saints has been kind of impressive. And I think if they still have a couple tough games coming up, but after those games, the schedule gets a lot lighter, and they get to play the Chargers twice, and they get to play the Broncos twice, the hurt Broncos twice. So I like the Raiders to make the playoffs, make a little push here at the end. But again, this next couple of weeks is tough. They got the Chiefs, and then they got Tampa Bay. So going to be some tough weeks coming up. The next team is your very own Los Angeles Rams. I believe the Rams are sitting at 3-1. I would say I think I'm going to take this one since you've been taking all the other ones. I'm going to sell the Rams as a playoff team.
Of course you are, because you're a hater. You're a hater. Hater.
And this is all, all objective. Their offense doesn't scare me like it used to. They put up 17 points against the Giants last week, who they're the Giants. And they don't have a good defense, And Jared Goff kind of struggled against them. And that's the thing about the Rams is you have to worry about them playing to their competition. And in the division with the 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks, that's tough. My initial thought is to sell the Rams. I don't think they win that division, but at the same time, now that I think about it, you got 3 playoff spots at the wild card. Rams could sneak in. So, and they'd be kind of a tough team to play in the playoffs. So
this is what I'm going to say. You brought up the schedule. The Rams still got to play their division foes.
Yeah. But
the Rams in the NFC West got very lucky when this year they had to play against the AFC East. So the Rams play the Bills, who are the best, right? The best in the NFC. They played them already. They still got to play against the Dolphins.
That's true.
And the Jets. Okay? And yes, they got the Patriots still, the Buccaneers, right? But they're going to be okay. They start off, they're 3-1 right now. They're 3-1. Look, they got about 12 games left. 12 games left. All they got to do is reach that magical, I'm going to say 10 to be safe. 10 wins.
Yeah.
Just 10 wins.
I think 9 might get it done, but 10
right,
might be good.
9 might get it done. Just 6 more wins. 6 more wins get you 9 wins. 7 more wins get you the 10th win. I think they could do it, man. I mean, the Cardinals are not playing well right now.
And I was about to bring that up. I think how well they play against the Cardinals will really determine where the Rams are going to seed. So I just think how well the Rams play against the Cardinals, and you brought it up, is going to really determine on where they get placed and where they seed and if they seed. So
look, they got the Redskins this week with a new quarterback, Dolphins, Jets. They got to get 2 against the Cardinals. 5 wins already, bro. Sign us up. Playoffs. We're in.
Man, he's buying the Rams like I thought he would.
Bye.
Here's another team that's interesting to me, and fantasy-wise, you want a piece of this offense, but the Cowboys, sitting at 1-3, had a really bad loss against the Browns where they allowed 49 points, and the only reason the Cowboys are not 0-4 right now is because of that disaster by the Atlanta Falcons. So, are you buying or selling the Cowboys right now as a playoff contender again in the woeful NFC East?
Look, I gotta say this. I love my friends who are Cowboy fans, right? I'm rooting for you. I thought at the beginning of the year, the Cowboys, this was their year. I thought they were gonna do well, right? Win the NFC East. But dude, the schedule they have remaining,
tough.
Look, they play against the Steelers, the Vikings away, the Ravens, the 49ers. That's tough.
That's tough. That is tough.
Those are all tough games. I mean, you could see them lose all those games.
I agree.
And that's tough. I mean, look, talent-wise, you have to buy the Cowboys. Absolutely. But as playoff contenders with the record they have right now and the remaining schedule, I guess like the Eagles, you have to buy them because the NFC East is so bad. But as of right now, I mean, I'm going to have to sell them. I'm going to have to sell them. And again, like you said, the key game for the Rams is the Cardinals. The key game for the Cowboys is not just all their NFC East games. It's going to be the Eagles.
Yep,
I think the Cowboys and Eagles are the top 2 in that league.
I agree. And I'm looking at both schedules here, and I really think, and this is sad, I think the division winner has 7 wins this year, really, in that division. And I don't want to buy the Cowboys as playoff contenders, but if I have to pick one team in the NFC East that I think will make the playoffs, I'm going to say the Cowboys. So I'm going to buy the Cowboys as playoff contenders. They got to do something on defense, though, to show that they're not a pushover. Because as of right now, if you're playing fantasy football, you start every player that's playing against the Cowboys, and you start every Cowboys player because it's just offense the whole time.
I'm going to say it right now, this is Mandy's bold prediction. If the Cowboys somehow lose to the Giants this week at home,
they won't make
Giants
the playoffs.
At the Cowboys, Jerry Jones is going to fire the entire staff. Okay, that's first of all. And second of all, they're not making playoffs.
Yep,
if
I
the
agree.
Cowboys lose to the Giants this week, they're done.
I agree. I'm agree with that. He's going to call Jimmy Johnson out of retirement if that happens. So, so moving on, we're going to get a quick fantasy minute. I'm going to give you some key updates here. So Austin Eckler got hurt. What does that do to the San Diego backfield? It means a ton of carries for Josh Kelly. He's going to be turned into a really workhorse back. But a fantasy viable option might be Justin Jackson. He might be worth a roster spot because he really is the guy who gets a lot of the receptions when Eckler gets out. Well, what does Eckler do well? He catches the football. So I would roster Justin Jackson if you had Austin Eckler and you can't pick up what's his name, Josh Kelly. I would roster Justin Jackson as a precaution. Next, what happened to Calvin Ridley on Monday night? He had 0 points, leading receiver in the NFL, and then had 0 points. So I'm telling you right now, don't panic. It was a really rough game for the Falcons. The Packers' defense is a lot better than people understand. But give Calvin Ridley some respect. Start him in your roster. Start him in your lineup next week unless he's hurt. He's going to bounce back. He's Calvin Ridley. He's got Matt Ryan to throw him the football. He'll be fine with Julio Jones on the other side. Don't panic. I promise you. Packers injuries. They got Devontae Adams, who's out. They have Alan Lazard, who's out, who's on the IR. What do you do with that offense now? Well, if you got Aaron Jones, you're probably a happy guy. So maintain
Well,
Aaron
not
Jones.
this week. He has a bye this week.
Right. Not this week. But if you have Aaron Jones, you're a happy fantasy owner. He finds the end zone constantly. But if Allen Lazard continues to miss time, and so does Devontae Adams, Jamal Williams out of the backfield had 8 catches in their last game. He's a very viable fantasy option out of the backfield. And their tight end, oh my goodness, the guy had 3 touchdowns He had 3 touchdowns on Monday night. So I think he might be worth a roster spot on your team. I picked him up on a couple of teams because nobody seemed to want to pick him up. So make sure
it was a fluke. It's a 1-game fluke. It won't happen again.
I don't know about that because if they continue to have injury problems, he might be the guy that they throw to. So Robert Tonyan, make sure you he might be worth a roster spot for you there. So that was our fantasy minute, and now we're moving on to the lock of the week with Mandy. But I don't know, it was a lock. I mean, it really felt like a lock. I bought into it. I put money on the Cardinals, and if you're like me, folks, you lost some money because Mandy's lock of the week just didn't hit. It really didn't hit. And it hurt. It hurt a lot. Like, it hurt me right here. It hurt my wallet too. But we're gonna bounce back this week. We're gonna bounce 2-1-1. We're gonna bounce back this week. Mandy's gonna turn his losses into green money. So Mandy, your lock of the week comes to us on a Saturday. So by Sunday we can all get mad at you. But on a Saturday we got Notre Dame ranked number 5 in the nation against the Florida State Seminoles, who I'm gonna let you talk about them because they've been struggling. Florida State has been really bad. And the point spread right now, Notre Dame has to win by 21 points. So tell us why you're taking Notre Dame, giving up the points.
Florida State lost their first week, very first game. They lost to a rookie a freshman quarterback from Georgia Tech by 3. They scored 13 points.
Yeah.
Okay? Then they bounced back after a bye week to play against their crosstown rival Miami. Blown the heck out by 42 points. By 42 points. And then they come back and they beat this 1AA Division II team, Jackson State or whatever they're called. Where they beat them. But that team still put up 24 points on them.
They were up 21-0. Jackson State was up 21-0. Yeah.
So I'm going with Notre Dame, who, again, I'm not high on at all. I'm not high on Notre Dame. Okay, but 21 points?
Yeah.
They might be up by 28 at halftime, Notre Dame. And they're playing at Notre Dame? Okay? Give me that game. Give me Notre Dame minus 21 points. Okay, I think the spread is 20.5, right?
20.5, yep.
20.5. So 21 points, that's going to get you a win. Florida State, you're bad, my guys. Notre Dame is going to go ahead and take this game 21 point. By more than 21. It should be 21 at halftime. Okay?
I agree.
Notre Dame, minus 21. Lock it in, baby.
Lock it in. I like that pick. So we're going now to our underdog. Throw a little salt, a little sprinkle of goodness on there. You're taking the Syracuse Orange. They're getting 2 points against the Duke Blue Devils. So tell us why you like Syracuse.
Hold on, remind me, what's my underdog record?
What is your underdog record? I'm unsure.
3-1.
Are you 3-1? Okay.
3-1. 3-1.
What was last week's? Oh, the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Plus 10? No, they didn't.
Oh,
cover.
no.
They didn't cover.
2-2.
Yeah. You're 2-2.
That should be voided.
Yeah, because I guess Cam wasn't there, but yeah.
Yeah, that should be voided.
Okay.
And the Patriots should have almost won the game. Anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Moving on. We're going to move on.
Staying with ACC football, which I think is just overrated and bad.
I agree.
Okay? They're bad. But staying with ACC football, I like this team from Syracuse. They play super good defense.
Yeah, they do that. I agree with that.
And they keep games close. And they're playing against Duke, who's usually this year for some reason having this offensive explosion, but they've been playing against some not so good teams. Okay, so Duke is going to travel north. Yeah, they're playing against Virginias and the Virginia Techs, which have big names, but
Yeah.
they're not good. They're not
Yeah, I mean,
good.
they're 0-4 in the year, and they haven't looked great. They looked okay last week against North Carolina, but I understand taking Syracuse.
And I think North Carolina is super overrated also.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Okay. So Syracuse, I just think, it's a conference game. Duke has to go north to New York to go play them at Syracuse in the Carrier Dome.
Right.
I think Syracuse is going to do enough, right? I'm not going to say they win the game, but again, the spread is what, 3.5, 2.5, right?
Two. Yeah.
2. It was, when I checked it about half an hour ago, it was Syracuse plus 3.5, and it's dropped
It's good
to
line
only
movement.
plus 2. So people are betting a bunch of money on Syracuse. So get it in ASAP. Right now it's Syracuse plus 2. Maybe when this show comes out, it might be even.
Even, yeah.
Yeah. But Syracuse, underdog, okay, take them. Notre Dame for sure. Lock of the week, baby.
Well, there you go. You got Mandy's lock of the week. You got his underdog pick. And one thing we haven't had on the show for 2 consecutive weeks, but we're bringing it back. We're bringing back the guest interview. We're bringing back your next man up. And really, this week, we got something special for you guys, and that's what we focus on, is guys who are gonna be the next man up. They're getting there. They're working hard. They're grinding. And this week is no different. We got our boy Ashton Sanders. Right now, he's a defensive tackle at Cathedral. He's 15 years old, and he recently went viral for pumping out 225 17 times. The kid's 15.
225 pounds, 17 times.
17 times. There are NFL players that don't hit 17 times at the combine. This kid he's going to blow up. He actually already received his first college offer. So we're really...
As a 15-year-old. He received a college offer as a 15-year-old. He's 6'3", 318 pounds. This kid's amazing.
It's just unheard of. So let's go ahead and bring on our guy, Ashton Sanders. All right, good to have you in, Ashton. I just want, first things first, I just wanted to ask, I wanted to say, you were a freshman playing defensive line last year, starting at a big high school, for football. Tell me about the challenges you faced doing that.
It was just really, you just had to have a Mamba mentality, a Kobe mindset, in my opinion, because I just can't let someone just talk about me and then act like I'm not going to show up for it. So I had to just prove them all wrong.
Yeah, I think you definitely proved everyone who doubted you wrong, because you deserved every single snap you got. And when you took over that starting spot, my guy, you never give it back. Like, you deserve to be on that starting defensive line. Now, going back as a freshman, right, you're going up against 18-year-old offensive linemen. You're 14, right? You're out there 15 years old as a freshman. What experience did you gain? Like, what did you learn the most mentally? Not physically, because physically is obvious, right? They're stronger, they're fast. But mentally, what did you learn last year as a freshman starting varsity? Tell me about it.
Well, what I'm known, so I grew up as a big kid. So me growing up, it was no, like, you can play with your age group. If you're too big, you got to play up. So I always grew up. I wasn't so good being 12, playing with 15-year-olds and everything. But when I got to high school, I realized that it's really not all strength and everything. It's also mentality. Like, when you're going on the defensive line, like especially for Loyola, Bishop Amat, the big O-line schools, you actually have to have technique. And I think my best game personally with technique was either Crespi or Loyola. I went up against the big boy. I think his name was Hunter Woods or something like that. Hunter. He rode me up. He rode me up one time, and then we both chatted after the game and everything. He's a good guy, but yeah.
So technique is definitely a big part of it, huh?
Yes, sir. Technique, hands is everything. That's one thing I didn't think you really need. Hands is everything.
Chuchi, it's my brother, Edward. He played defensive end all high school and college. He played defensive end. Is that what you think? Chuchi's all about technique and huh?
Absolutely. I think my game took a whole nother step when I got to college. Competing again, I was competing against guys a lot bigger than me. I'm not even as big as Ashton over here, but I was competing against guys a lot bigger than me. And that's one thing I think that was kind of the equalizer. And I think Ashton kind of hit at that. You have better technique than the offensive lineman going at you. You have better hands quicker hands, faster hands, and you can get his hands off of you before he can latch on and put those 310 pounds or whatever he is behind him after he grabs you, that's the equalizer right there. That's when you can use your speed. That's when you can use your power and all that stuff. You can really change things. But and tell me if this is not true, Ashton. You said you got rolled up by the big guy, and that's one thing as a defensive lineman you have to kind of get used to, because I think I think in the NFL, like, the highest success rates on pressures and sacks, it's like 18%, I want to say. So something really low. So, tell me about how that affects, being a young player, being a freshman, constantly, let's say, not getting beat, but let's say, you might not get to the quarterback 15 times a game. It might be, 3 or 4 times a game. But how do you stay, grounded with that mentality? Like, I guess I just got to keep pounding the pavement. How do you do that?
Well, my father always told me it's always about maximum effort. If you get beat down, get back up. And every D lineman is going to get hit. J.J. Watt got hit a few times. Aaron Donald got hit a few times. They're the best of the rest. So I don't really think it's – I think it's a part of the game. Like, getting hit is a part of the game. Every person on that field, the 22 players that's on the field, has gotten rolled up one time. And if they say they don't, and then their heart just broke from it. So, yeah.
So, Ashton, real quick, going back to, how you're going to be the next man up, how you're the next best thing over here. Real quick, Tar fans, what's your height?
My height's 6'3".
And your weight?
318.
6'3", right? 6'3", 318, 15-year-old defensive lineman. You pumped out 17 reps at 225, right? You went a little bit viral and all that stuff. Now tell us, what has that gotten you so far? So you got some good news, right?
Yeah, I got some good views. One thing I was very excited about, I got a lot of exposure off of that one video, which I really didn't think it was going to get like that. Like, I got I think it was 2,000 plus views. Yeah.
You're 15. Yeah.
But like, I was thinking like Texas 15-year-olds can do that. And then I was really looking, I was like, wow, like, I really did good. I was proud of myself. And then I thank my grandparents for that too, because like it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for them.
So but tell us exposure, have you been able to leverage that into anything, like any positive news for the future, or has the exposure just been like people getting to know you a little bit more?
Oh yeah, definitely. The video also hit on Channel 4, and I got what was it? I think Purdue and SMU. I can't remember the name of the school, but I know it's SMU Mustangs. They started looking at me, and I know Cal, they was looking at me after my freshman season, and then I got much exposure. Then I got my first offer, and then I really,
Well, talk to us. Who offered you? Who's the first school to offer you?
Fresno State. Fresno State. Bulldogs, baby. Yes, sir.
That's big time, man. You're a sophomore, 15 years old, and you got your first offer to a D1 school, Fresno State. That's amazing, right? How did it make your grandparents feel? How did it make your mom and dad feel?
Well, I'll be honest with you, that didn't faze my family at all. My brother grew up, he was also a D1 prospect. He was just like me. And like everything that I'm doing right now, my brother did too. Like, it's in our blood. And like the whole Channel 4, he was on the exact same thing. But it really didn't faze them. They just said, don't get too comfortable. You still got to keep grinding. This is nothing. You just got to keep going. And me personally, I don't want to say I'm that guy until I have every school in the country offer me. Doesn't matter what division they are.
I love it.
That's the mindset right there, man, that you have to have. You know, you're competing for scholarships against everybody. You know what I mean? Every other guy. And for you to hear you say, like, you know, you could be sitting here like, yeah, Fresno State, I'm all about it, but like, no, you're like, it's good, I'm happy, but you know, I'm not done yet. And that's the mentality you gotta have, man. And that's impressive, you know, coming from a 15-year-old, and I love it, man. Good to hear.
So you mentioned that you got a little bit of interest from UC Berkeley, right? Berkeley Cal Bears. It's a big deal, right? It's a huge deal. Now, tell us, right, to get into UC Berkeley, you know, they do offer you, which I think they will, right? You got to have good grades. How are your grades right now at Cathedral?
My grades are actually terrific. I have a 3.71 currently, and last year I ended with a 3.43, which my mom wasn't so happy about. We was going for the 3.5, but it was good.
Right?
Kyle liked the grades.
You gotta get a 3.5, man, the A honor roll.
Yeah, I could have been. It was just that one letter right there, that one B.
That's cool. So talk to us real quick. So it seems like you're a great student, man. 3.7, that's amazing. Keep it up. You go to any college you want. What's Ashton's favorite subject right now?
My favorite subject right now?
Yeah. I know it's online. It's difficult, but what's your favorite class? Like you wake in the morning, yes, I have this Zoom meeting.
English. Yes,
nice.
My guy, Mr. Brandon. Yes, I love that class. English.
Mr. Brandon. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
English. Great. Nice.
Yeah, I
got a couple other non-football related questions for you, man.
Okay.
So I heard my brother's over here saying that you're doing good in school and you got football, obviously. And with football, grinding at it so hard and working out so hard in the weight room, you might not have time for a whole lot of stuff. But if Ashton gets some leisure time, some free time, what does Ashton like to do with his free time?
What do I like to do? Well, I'm not too much of a going out person. Mm-hmm. I grew up with I wouldn't say a lot of hatred towards my name, but I didn't have so much good stuff towards my name. So I'm scared for me to go out in public in certain areas. So I'm more of like a stay in and invite a certain friends over. Or I really like working out in my free time. Like, I really love that. Like, weight room, I love that. Or I like go to the beach. The beach is like the best place for me. And I don't get in the water, though. So
what?
No.
What's the point of going to the beach?
All right, let me tell you. If you ever watched the movie 47 Meters Down, you're not getting in the water. I seen that shark come up and just ate the girl. I was like, no, can't do it. It doesn't matter. I'll probably get my ankle high.
That's all right. That's cool, I guess.
So since you're a gym rat, man, you be working out all the time. Who's some of the artists that get you motivated, man, get you fired up, ready to work out?
Some of the artists I know, for my top one is Tusi.
Okay.
Yeah. Another one I like Rio, and what's another one? I have like three more. I know Kevin Gates, Kendrick Lamar for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then the fifth one for me, I would say any like popping down south rapper. I really like that. I love the flow and everything. It gets me jumping.
The southern rap definitely gets you going for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely one thing that southern rap does for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
My last question to you, Ashton, is you're in 8th grade when this kid was at Cathedral. So let me just, before I further go on, do you know who Stephon Wright is?
Yeah, right when I got there, everyone said I was looking like him, and they called me Stephon.
Yeah. I didn't know who you were, right? I mean, your freshman year, I'm coming in summer practices, whatever, talking to AJ, Coach AJ, and I go, AJ, is that Stephon's little brother? Like, who is that? No, that ain't Stephon, man. That's a freshman. Ashton, probably go crazy. You look just like him. Stephon Wright, Stephon. You look just like Stephon. It's crazy. So that being said, do you see your game in Stephon's game? Because you guys are almost the same build, the same position. Do you watch maybe? Did you watch him play his senior year? What do you think relates you and him?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. When they first said I was looking like Stephon, and they was like, oh yeah, he was the big kid at Cathedral, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check him out. And I looked at some of his highlights, and now, like, from the beginning of the season when I was playing as a freshman, I wasn't like that much technique wise, but towards the end, I can really see my game compared to his game like a lot. Like I actually like his game. He uses his hands. I love his reach. His reach is amazing. Yeah.
And what's crazy is that everyone compares you to him, right? The way he looked as a senior, but you were only a freshman.
Yeah.
And look, again, I don't want to, your parents, I think your grandparents and parents, your dad, your mom are going to hold you down real hard, right? They're not going to let your head get that big. But dang, my guy, if you keep progressing, you're going to be probably the greatest D lineman to ever come out of Cathedral. And that's the plan. Right? And that was the fun. Was a 4-star with an ASU, came out 2 years ago. I mean, dude, you could be that and more. So that's impressive.
Yeah, and really,
Yeah.
Ashton, it's like you're in a good spot, man, with how college football has changed and how the NFL has changed, and being so pass heavy and like a lateral game. You know, having a defensive lineman like yourself with good reach, with good hands, with some athleticism. You know, being able to stop the run and rush the passer. You know, that you're in a good spot, man. As long as you keep progressing, work on those feet, work on those hands. You know, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit with your size and your natural born talent and whatnot. So just keep working, man.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
Stefan. I mean, not Stefan. But I even called you Stefan.
We had him on the show too. He's good. He's a good guy, man.
Yeah, we had
Guy
Stefan about
and not bad company to be in. You know, he's a D1 athlete himself already. Going to play for Coach Herm Edwards. So you know, not bad company at all.
So Ashton, man, thank you so much for giving us your time. I appreciate it. And let's just hope that you can heal and you can come back for our season this year. And also let's pray that there is a season this year, which I think there will be. But let's also pray that, you know, you come back healthy and, man, you can have an amazing sophomore year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
My last thing for you, Ashton, I want you to leave the fans on, all of our fans, and just anybody going to be watching. What's the one thing you want people to know about Ashton Sanders, you know, before you end this conversation with us?
My favorite thing to say, it's all in the last name. That's Sanders. It's all in the last name. That's greatness right there. There ain't nothing else to say. When you have the last name Sanders on your back, that's a lot of handles. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. Love it.
All right,
Ashton. Stay dedicated.
We appreciate you joining us, man.
All right, man. There it was. That was our boy, Ashton Sanders, man. Great kid. Again, that's all we have here on the show. We have great kids who have full potential, so much potential, man. And again, 15 years old, 6'3", 318, 17 reps at 225 pounds. Fresno State, yeah, that's his first offer, big time. You heard what he said. His goal was to get every single college, D1, D2, to offer him. That's a mindset you want to have. That's amazing. Whew, got me pumped up, baby.
So what's next, man? We had our guest interview, you know, for the first time in 2 weeks. So what's the next segment here?
The next segment. He thinks he has big cojones because he went 5 for 5 last week.
5.
Rapid fire with Chuchi.
Let's go. 5 for 5 last week. We're going to keep the train rolling.
So look,
if you think you're better than me, let me know in the comments because you're not. I promise you. You're not.
I mean, at the same time, you do have your older brother who loves you, giving you softball questions. And
hey, man, call him what you will. I went 5 for 5.
You know what? Again, this week, I'm feeling a great mood. I mean, it's who I am. I just want to see you succeed. So I'm going to give you some more softball questions here.
Okay.
I think there's softball questions.
I don't know much about softball.
So I see your hat there. Okay, you're you live in LA, but you love New York. Okay, so you're a Yankee fan. You're a Yankee fan. So I'm going to give you 5 Yankees from their 40-man roster this year. I want you to tell me where they were born.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. I might know a couple of these.
Number one. Okay? Number 1. His name, Masahiro Tanaka.
Masahiro Tanaka. So Tanaka obviously is an international player. I'm trying to remember if it was South Korea or Japan. I want to say it's Japan. I'm going to go Japan.
Japan. Okay. Number 2. He went to high school in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Giancarlo Stanton.
I know he went to, we talked about this last time with the Notre Dame. Ooh, I'm going to say he's born in the United States.
Born where?
United States. I'm going to say United States. We're talking country, right? Country?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go United States.
Okay. Again, another softball question here. Aroldis Chapman.
Oh, the Cuban Missile. Obviously, he's from Cuba.
Okay.
I'm going to say he's born in Cuba.
Good. Let's go with Gleyber Torres.
Oh, I actually know this one. So I know this one because during Players Weekend, he had on his back it said de Caracas. I had no idea what that meant. So he's from Venezuela. Caracas in Venezuela.
De Caca or de Caracas?
De Caracas.
Oh, Caracas. Okay.
Don't sleep on my boy either.
Okay. Gio Urshela.
Gio Urshela. Ooh, this is a tough one. I actually can't remember where Gio is from. I want to say he's Colombian. I think he's Colombian. Yeah, I think he's Colombian.
And lastly, Devi Garcia.
Oh, Devi Garcia. He's our rookie. 5'9", phenom of a pitcher, man. I do know this one. He's from where Pedro's from. He's from the Dominican.
Okay, so let's add this up here.
What do we got?
So you got
Giancarlo?
Japan. You said Japan, right?
Yes.
He's actually from Japan.
Yes, let's go.
Now, see, this was for Giancarlo Stanton. He's from LA, right?
Right.
I told you this. I mean, obviously, he's from USA.
Okay. All right.
All right.
2 out of 2.
All right. And Gleyber Torres, right? Sorry, before that we said Chapman. That was easy. That's like my Cuban missile left arm the size of my freaking leg, right? So,
dude, and he has, I'm got to say this on my show. Aroldis Chapman has a big old booty. And you could tell that guy.
Big Cuban booty.
Got that big butt.
Big Cuban booty that he can't control his bowel movements. Must be a Cuban thing.
Must be a Cuban thing. So that's 3 for 3. Keep them coming.
Okay. Gio Urshela. I'm sorry. Gleyber Torres. You're right. De Cacas. He's from
Venezuela.
Gio Urshela. I was surprised you knew this. Yes, he is from Colombia.
Woo! 5 for 5. Let's go.
And Devi Garcia, you're from the Dominican. Yeah, so not bad.
Man, baby, I'm a real Yankee fan, all right? A real Yankee fan. Get out of here with that. All day long on Rapid Fire, baby. That's why it's my segment now. That's why it's my segment, because I'm on fire.
That was impressive.
So Mandy, we wrapped up the show, man. We had a good show. I had a pretty good week. But let me hear about your week, man. Let me hear about your last week and everything going forward. What's your takeaway for today?
My takeaway is real simple. Okay. This is the part of the show where I kind of voice my opinion here and there, and people want to go ahead and make excuses that Americans or people in the world are not watching the NBA Finals because they're political statements and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's just keep it 100. That's not true. First of all, it's not true. Yeah. Second of all, remember the NBA Finals have never ever been during October where you have baseball playoffs and football. The NFL. Look at today. Today is Game 5 of the NBA Finals where the Lakers should win the NBA title tonight, but they're going to be competing against the Dodger game, MLB playoffs, and the NFL.
Yeah, Thursday night football.
For instance, look, if you're from, you're Angelino like myself, right? Yes, I'm going to watch a Laker game, but also, you got to watch a Dodger game somehow. If you're from Florida or from Miami, whatever, right? You're watching the Heat game, but then also you want to watch the Tampa Bay game tonight. Yeah. So, I mean, it's skewed, this whole NBA rating. It's the political. No, it's not the political statements. It's the fact that basketball has never competed against Major League Baseball playoffs, America's pastime, and NFL and college football.
Yeah. And not only is the NBA, it's just a saturated market right now with stuff to watch, and I like it, but I think you're right. And not only are they competing with the pastime, but they're competing against Dodgers, Padres, Tatis, Machado, all the stuff going on. Who doesn't want to tune into that? I want to tune into that. You know what I mean? So they are definitely competing with a lot of stuff going on. My takeaway is a little bit more unrelated. I mean, a little bit related to sports, but really personal. And it's just been a good couple of weeks here. I just found out Mandy over here secured a head coaching job at Sotomayor High School, and I'm just I'm as a brother, I'm really happy and I'm proud of him getting ready for his new challenge, man. And it just makes me want to get back into coaching and stuff like that. But on a personal level, I was able to finally. I had known this for a little while, but finally tell my family, that my wife and I are expecting a child. So I'm really excited. So I'm just really happy. I'm letting my fans know, I'm expecting a child, going to be a dad. I'm really excited to, bring to you the next man up that's going to be coming up.
I'm going to tell you something that when I was a 7th grade teacher at St. Thomas Aquinas, shout out to them, I told my class, hey class, let you guys know, I'm having my wife is pregnant, I'm having my second child, and a girl in the back of the classroom she yells, Fernandez pull-out game week? Oh, Padilla pull-out game week? True story, by the way. True story.
I bet it is. Held strong for 25 years, but hey, I think it's time to bring the world my seed. So, yeah, that was really our show today. Make sure if you're enjoying the show, man, and I'm enjoying making the show. But if you're enjoying the show, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, share. Tell your friends word of mouth still works. We're growing. We're getting there where we want to be, but we need your help to hit our goals. So definitely like, follow, subscribe. And then, share in the comments, what you think about the show. Like, I would have got that rapid fire. I wouldn't have got that rapid fire. Mandy's lock is Gaga. He lost me $100. Whatever it might be, let us know. And we're excited to hear from you. And really, that was our show today. Thank you for tuning in.